Welcome, everybody, to week 2, Flex or Fade, where Ethan and I discuss a player and talk about whether we're using him in our player pool or we are fading him. So this is typically the Saturday DraftKings main slate, just for context. But today, or this week, I'm talking about Roman Wilson, the Michigan receiver. He sits at a robust, I don't have it anymore. You'll need to get pricing for me, Ethan, a robust mid 5K pricing. I like him. I mean, I think there's obvious reasons to like Michigan's offense, which let's do it, right? They're projected for like 47 points. It's going to be a blowout. The matchup is great against UNLV. UNLV just gave up like 230 yards passing, over 50% completion rate to Bryant, which is a school in the Northeast for those that are unaware. And I think Michigan didn't look great on the ground, as I said in the Campus to Caching this week. They averaged less than 4 yards a carry against ECU. And I think they do want to pass it more. Like they said in the offseason, it is just one game, so it's very possible it's not going to happen anymore. But I think they want to pass it. They use Edwards in the passing game. Corum didn't look super great. The offensive line didn't look gelled. I think they're going to continue to pass, and Roman Wilson is the guy in that passing attack. Ronnie Bell was their stud target share guy. He's gone to the NFL, I believe. I don't think he got relegated to the CFL yet. And Roman Wilson's the guy. He's had previous year's production. He's used on the ground in some gadgety type plays sometimes. They may do that. But last week against ECU had 3 touchdowns on 9 targets, which is a high team target share. And Cornelius Johnson was playing. So, he was a little banged up. There was a thought he might not play, but he did in fact play. So I'm not worried about the target share changing too much. And I like him and JJ McCarthy's connection. I think they're really quality together. I'm not expecting bonus. I'm not expecting 3 touchdowns, but I could really see him go 5 for 80 and a touchdown or 2. I mean, that connection, if you watch that ECU game, they looked really in sync. And a lot of those routes that JJ was excelling on are the ones that Roman was running. So I'm flexing Roman Wilson this week.
All right. So, yeah, he is 5,400 this week on main slate. So, yeah, he's there in the mid fives, which is a very reasonable price. So I get why you are on Roman this week. He seems like a very feasible option. You kind of touched on my argument, though, with the fact that Corum and Edwards last week just didn't really seem like they were fully in sync. They weren't fully gelled with that offensive line yet. And things just seemed off in general with that running game. Looking at the Vegas total, I mean, there is no doubt that Michigan is expected to win this one handily. They should be in a very positive run-heavy game script, especially going into the latter half of that game, which really limits Roman Wilson's upside. I know last week was a bit of a runaway for Michigan, and he still was able to eat. But with the fact that Cornelius Johnson was a little bit banged up, he had that questionable tag going into the matchup, along with the fact that I just think, I know that Ronnie Bell's gone, but the fact that this is a guy who scored 4 touchdowns last year and he scored 3 of them already this year, I don't love the idea for banking on any of that. And so I'm glad you specified that you're not banking on touchdown production, because I don't think that's a given with Roman Wilson. But with the fact that the running game really needs to get back to basics, really form an identity and pound the ball to get Corum and Edwards in rhythm. And the idea that, Cornelius Johnson, Colston Loveland, Donovan Edwards as well in the slot, these are guys who they want to work in and get going. It almost feels like it's a case where Roman Wilson, all right, he's good to go. Check the box for that non-conference performance, and then move on to the next guy to get them right and get them in their game. So it's a bit of narrative street. It's a bit of banking on the fact that touchdown variance is going to break my way. But this week I am fading Roman Wilson.
Yeah, I have him at 28 touchdowns this season, a tad under 3 a game. So, no, yeah, I think you raise a great point. And if you have not listened to our other version of Flex or Fade, please go ahead and do so. similar situation. Let's see what happens. Is Michigan going to go back and try to reinforce the run, or are they going to continue to be a little bit more pass happy? We'll see, and we'll be talking about what's going on this weekend in the Discord. Make sure you join us there. Let us know what you think. You flexing or you fading here? So appreciate everybody coming out and enjoy the weekend.